My friends, welcome back to the channel for another monthly. If my calculations are correct, this video is going live the same day as the Switch 2 Nintendo Direct. Which, yeah, is less than ideal for us, especially when we know this is an important monthly that the people need to see. There are so many news tidbits and games to cover in this video, and the last thing we want to do is compete for your attention with the Big N on their special day. But that's the life of a YouTuber who only has so much time in the day. So let's save everyone else some time in their day by jumping into all the co-op games that came out last month, what co-op games are coming out in the next month, and any co-op news in between. Seriously, this is a good one, so let's get to March's monthly.
March had something for everyone, at least one major title, some indies, and one pretty unique game we can't stop playing, so let's see what critics and players thought of this lot. We kicked off the month in full force with the release of Split Fiction, the latest bonkers co-op adventure from Hazelight, the team behind It Takes Two. Split Fiction is currently the best reviewed title of the year with a mighty 90 on OpenCritic. Let's go! We tend to agree as we too gave it a glowing recommendation via our review on the channel. At first glance, it looks a lot like It Takes Two, and while that's true, everything is definitely dialed up a notch. If you're a fan of It Takes Two, this is a no-brainer. Slime Heroes is an RPG light adventure title that released early in the month, and sadly it hasn't garnered the best reception. It's currently at a 65 average score on OpenCritic based on 6 reviews. The reviews are a little all over the place with a couple 6s and 7s, but at least one outlet gave it a 10 out of 10. There's only 18 reviews on Steam, so it seems like this is flying fairly under the radar. If you've played the game, help us out and give us your take down in the comments below. Well, the game we can't stop playing is 33 Immortals. This is a 33-player online co-op roguelite that aims to give you and your mini army that classic raid-style experience you might remember from playing MMOs like World of Warcraft. It launched onto early access on the 18th, and we've had a hard time putting it down since. To be clear, you squad up with 3 other players and then join up with the others. No critic scores since it's in early access, but do check out our impressions video if you want to learn more. Schedule 1 is a game you might have heard of as it's currently blowing up on TikTok and taking over the Steam charts. In it, you can grow your small-time drug operation to a full-blown empire, and you can do so in 4-player online co-op. It's currently in early access and does look a bit janky, but that's part of its absurd premise. Not gonna lie, I actually want to play this and roleplay as Walter White, so we're gonna try and dive into it soon. Next up is Mother Machine, a 1 to 4 player co-op game featuring both online and local modes. This is an action RPG platformer with procedurally generated levels. There's not too many reviews online, but we still wanted to give it a shout out here if it looks up your alley. The last game of the month is Gaurdians Servants of the Dark, a 2-player local co-op Metroidvania. The game only has 5 reviews on OpenCritic, but they're enough to garner it a mighty 86. I actually played a bit of the last Gaurdians game and had a pretty good time with it. If you're into Metroidvanias, this looks like one worth checking out with a friend.
While April doesn't have any AAA co-op titles to sink our teeth into, there's a handful of smaller titles that we're having a ton of trouble choosing between, and after this block, I think you're gonna agree. First up is Monaco 2, a 1 to 4 player heist game featuring both online and local co-op. You and your crew take on meticulously crafted missions, looting and stealing anything in sight. Each character has unique abilities, and the game's blueprint mode lets you change perspectives to strategize your heist from a new angle. We're eager to get our hands on this one, so expect coverage around its April 10th launch. Don't want to say anything more for now. The open world survival genre is packed with options, but Forever Skies is making a strong case for itself. This month marks its long-awaited 1.0 release, including a console launch on PS5. In Forever Skies, you'll pilot and upgrade your own spaceship, gathering scientific discoveries from Earth's devastated surface to improve your tech on your ship. With thousands of positive Steam reviews from its early access period, this one looks like a safe bet. Definitely worth adding to your wishlist ahead of April 14th. If you're starting to see why we're struggling to choose, Vinebound Tangled together only makes things harder. Imagine vampire survivors with a gorgeous cartoon art style and a heavy emphasis on co-op. You and your partner are tethered by a vine, preventing you from straying too far apart, but also forcing you to keep just the right distance. Cooldowns play a unique role too, as special flowers zip along the vine between you, requiring precise timing to unleash attacks. There's a lot more to this, including build crafting and boss battles, but we'll wait for reviews before diving in. If we don't get to it at launch, it'll be high on our backlog for the year. As if things weren't already tough, Sedap, a culinary adventure, throws another must-play title into the mix. It blends Overcooked-style chaos with Diablo-like combat and a mashup that's caught both Gabe and Mai's attention. One player battles enemies and explores the world to gather ingredients, while the other runs the restaurant and prepares the dishes. The art style is a nice bonus, and with both online and local co-op, this one's shaping up to be a real standout. We're eager to see how it all comes together. This one's near the top of our playlist, so fingers crossed we cover it. April closes out strong with Sunderfolk, the debut game from Dreamhaven, the studio founded by former Blizzard co-founder and CEO Mike Morhaime. This one aims to bring back classic game night vibes with a tabletop adventure that plays out on both your TV and your phone. Each player picks a class, makes their moves on their phone, either locally or online, and watches the action unfold on the big screen. We're incredibly curious to see how this works in practice, but we'd be shocked if it doesn't deliver. With so many great titles coming out on the horizon, we're going to do our best to cover as many of these as we can. It just is really a time issue for us. But consider subscribing to be the first to hear our thoughts on at least a few of these exciting releases.
And before we move on to our news segment, let me take a quick second to tell you about our Patreon. Running a YouTube channel is hard work, and your support is what keeps us going. That's why we're super grateful for all our patrons. Joining their ranks gets you all sorts of benefits like a monthly newsletter, voting on upcoming video topics, and access to our Patreon exclusive series, Play and Banter, where we give you our first impressions of games with some unfiltered gameplay. Check out our 2 tiers by following the links below and consider supporting our humble 2-man team. Now let's get back to the show.
We might be setting a record with this section. So many great updates are coming to existing games. Get your crew ready to jump back in, because here's what's new in your favorite co-op titles. Kicking off the month, let's cover Bread and Fred. It had a massive update that essentially doubled the game's content. The laboratory introduces a brand new map filled with unique mechanics for the 2 penguins to tackle. Best of all, the update is free, though you're gonna need to beat the base game first, and if you know anything about this game, I'll just say good luck with that. On top of it, Bread and Fred is coming to PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series consoles sometime this spring. It feels like we never go more than a month or 2 without hearing about a Darktide update, and March is no exception. This update introduces the Immortals trials, which I believe are brand new levels to conquer, along with fresh in-game events, quality of life improvements, and a rework to my favorite class, the Ogren. As always, these updates are free, so no complaints here, but I'm still waiting for something big enough to fully pull us back in. Is this the one? I don't know, I guess just let me know in the comments if you're a Darktide person. One of our favorite co-op games so far this year is Brave Escape, and it's also one of the most brutally difficult. Think Celeste, but somehow harder? Well, the devs heard the feedback and introduced a casual mode, making the experience more approachable with fewer spikes and more forgiving jump timing. You can swap between modes at any time too. We already highly recommend this one, but now it's even easier to suggest. Raven's Watch landed in our top 5 co-op games of 2024 thanks to its excellent roguelike mechanics and deep class design. But if Romeo and Juliet had been there at launch, who knows how high it could have climbed. These two were originally designed to be played together, with abilities designed to complement each other. But after some community feedback when they were revealed, the devs are tweaking them so they can also be played solo. Love that they're listening, but at the same time, isn't it kind of fitting that they're going to be split up? Like almost thematic in a tragic sort of way? Either way, the iconic duo joins the game for free in May. The Outlast Trials is one of the most unique titles we've ever played for the channel, and not just because it's probably banned in like several conservative countries. Its blend of co-op and survival horror is unlike anything else, and clearly we're not the only ones who loved it. The game just hit its 1-year anniversary, surpassing 3 million players. Huge congrats to the dev team. Alongside the celebration, they've also revealed their 2025 roadmap, packed with MK challenges, maps, and game modes. As 2 guys juggling full-time jobs and a YouTube channel, we don't always make time for DLC, but the Outlast Trials is making it very tempting. If you followed our Monster Hunter Wilds coverage, you know we have complicated feelings about this entry. That said, like any Monster Hunter game, it's only going to get better with time. This first major update, dropping on Friday, packs in more than we can list here, but highlights include the return of Mitsune, let's go, a new centralized social hub, and even the ability to eat with the Palicos. I say hell yeah to that. plus some fun minigames for co-op play. If the game's complicated multiplayer systems have been holding you back, think about checking out our guide. It's still worth jumping in now even if there's issues, especially with that inevitable major DLC we all know is coming sometime next year. I recently turned 30 this month, shout out to me, and my wife got me a Meta Quest 3 as a birthday gift. So while the channel isn't switching to VR content anytime soon, I do have to mention that the upcoming RoboQuest VR port teased co-op at the very end. Who knows, maybe this is something we're going to cover more now that I've joined the future. Feel free to convince Gabe in the comments that he should too, although I will say, now that I've done VR, I'm really struggling to imagine playing RoboQuest in VR. I do not have the VR sea legs for that one quite yet. More good news headed your way. Linked Banner of the Spark officially launches 1.0 on May 22nd, bringing it to PlayStation and Xbox Series consoles. The game also got a visual refresh and a new logo, both of which we think are solid improvements. We covered Link during its early access launch last year and even got to interview the dev team. Its mix of roguelike combat and Animal Crossing style town building made for a pretty compelling experience, and we're excited to see how 1.0 expands on it. Check out our impressions and be sure to wishlist it. A few quick updates to cover before we move to the next block. Towerborn is expanding its early access to Xbox and Game Pass on April 29th. We loved our time with it at launch and have marked it as a must-return experience for its 1.0 release. If it's hitting a console near you, definitely check it out. For whatever reason, we never played Teardown at launch despite its overwhelming amount of positive Steam reviews. That might have to change though with the upcoming co-op mode. No details yet outside of a brief teaser, but it looks like it's going to support at least 4 players and is set to launch later this year. V Rising, an excellent co-op title, is getting a major update this month. Invaders of Oakvale brings a new biome, revamped PvP arena combat, and reworked classes. Now's the perfect time. We loved our time with it.
While we don't have as many news stories as the last section, we have some really exciting developments in the world of upcoming co-op titles, so let's take a look. We finally got a real look at FBC Firebreak as the team unveiled a brand new gameplay trailer at the end of the Future Game Show Spring Showcase. Along with the trailer, plenty of outlets put out some preview coverage, and wouldn't you know, your boys were one of those. We got the chance to sit down with the Remedy team as they took us through a mission, and we got to learn a whole lot about what to expect and how this game even came to be. The biggest takeaway is that this is not some forced multiplayer cash grab. Firebreak is more like a passion project for Remedy, who has actually wanted to make a co-op game for a minute now. If you want to learn more, definitely check out our preview video. Sand is an open-world PvPvE extraction shooter featuring 6-player online co-op where your crew traverses a desert on a giant walking ship. Last month, the team nailed down April 3rd for their early access launch, but it seems like that might have been a bit short-sighted. They've recently retconned that and delayed the game to an undisclosed date. Hopefully they can get back on track, because I'm personally really interested to get my hands on this one. Another delayed announcement. Listen, I'm just the messenger here. This one goes to Killing Floor 3, which has been delayed to sometime later this year. It's a bummer since this date was also creeping up on us, but honestly, we're okay to let this one cook more. We're extremely hyped to get 6 of our friends together for this, so if they need the time to make it the best it can be, take all the time you need. After being revealed 8 years ago, we finally have a release date for Witchbrook. If you don't know what this is or have just forgotten, I don't blame you. Let me fill you in. Witchbrook is a cozy life sim RPG from the team behind Stardew Valley. It's a 4-player online co-op game where you attend a magical school, so basically a multiplayer Harry Potter game. During the latest Nintendo Direct, we finally got a release date for this holiday season when Witchbrook will arrive on PC, Switch, and Xbox Series consoles with a Day 1 Game Pass release.
Alright, it really is time to try to bring this ship to shore, but there's no land on the horizon just yet, my friends, because this block is just as big as the others, so settle back in as we go over all the new co-op games announced last month. We're starting and ending this section with .emu games because who doesn't love a beat-em-up sandwich? Absalom is a brand new IP with both local and online co-op that's looking to shake up the genre by adding roguelike elements in an absolutely stunning art style. Early previews are already rolling in and they're very positive, definitely check them out. We're expecting another gameplay trailer soon, and I've got my fingers crossed for a 2025 release because this looks like an easy must-play for the boys. Hey devs, any chance you want to include us in the next round of coverage? Next up is La Chimera, a story-driven FPS with online co-op from new studio Reburn. Feels like the mid-2000s were packed with these kinds of experiences, but in 2025, getting a true cooperative shooter campaign is practically unheard of, so we're all about it. There's still a lot to learn, and with no release date yet, it's one to wishlist and keep an eye on. Speaking of rare gaming experiences, how about a 4-player co-op survival horror game where you play as Spanish explorers? The Mound sets itself apart by maybe ditching an open-world design in favor of what looks like a more linear horror experience. You'll embark on expeditions into a jungle where things only get stranger and more terrifying the deeper you go. It's hard to say for sure how structured it will be, but if it is a more focused horror game, that's music to my ears. The Mound also looks gorgeous and is targeting a 2025 release, so onto the wish list it goes. Not much to go on here, but it looks like the team behind Lords of the Fallen has officially shifted to working on Lords of the Fallen 2 full-time, aiming for a 2026 release. The news slipped out during an earnings call, which is why we're just showing footage of the original, which actually isn't the original. It's the most recent one, which was a massive improvement over the first attempt, but it still wasn't quite there in terms of capturing that Souls-like magic, so here's hoping that third time is the charm. Hello Sunshine is a mystery survival RPG with online co-op set in the sun-scorched ruins of a collapsed corporate empire. You play the last employee left standing, which I find hilarious in 2025, tasked with reaching a distant tower and deciding the fate of what remains. Like The Mound, it's unclear if this is a linear or open-world survival title, especially since the reveal trailer is light on gameplay, but with so many survival crafting games out there, anything that helps a game stand out is appreciated. This one looks beautiful and sounds unique, so it's worth a wish list while we wait for more information. This next title brings the highly acclaimed Frosthaven tabletop experience into the digital world. It's being produced by Arc Games, the teams behind Remnant and Torchlight, which gives us confidence that it's in good hands. Expect deep mechanics and satisfying strategic gameplay in both single-player and online co-op. If you're a Gloomhaven fan, this is its spiritual successor, so keep an eye on its development. Another one with very little to go on, aside from the fact that it's happening, is Warhammer 40k Space Marines 3. The devs promise an immersive campaign, a multiplayer mode, and innovations that will redefine third-person action games, their quote, not mine. After playing through Space Marines 2 though, I believe them when they say that it's going to be something special. Just maybe make sure the servers are ready for launch this time, yeah? Time to take a break from the grimdark madness with Spirit Crossing, a cozy co-op MMO, coming to your Netflix app on mobile. Yeah, that part threw me too, but putting that aside, this actually looks pretty cool with a gorgeous art style and beautifully designed creatures. Players will build and decorate their homes and villages, explore expansive landscapes, and work together throughout. It's slated to launch later this year, and you can sign up for an alpha on their website right now. And finally, we're wrapping things up with another .emu game, as I said, a beat-em-up sandwich, Marvel Cosmic Invasion. I'm just gonna let the trailer play for a minute because this one is giving all the right vibes. It's got 15 playable heroes, drop-in, drop-out local and online co-op, and it's made by the TMNT Shredder's Revenge team. Need I say more? It's coming to all consoles later this year, and honestly, it might have been the best part of the final Switch 1 Direct, outside of Spirit Brook. Move aside GTA 6, Marvel's taking the holidays by storm with this one.
Thanks for watching, guys. We cover all things co-op games here, previews, reviews, and even news via this series. So if you want to stay in the know, make sure you subscribe and follow us on our socials. If you want to support us, check out our Patreon where we give you first impressions of games via our Patreon exclusive series, play, and banter. Thank you to those already supporting us there. We'll catch you next time on another episode of The Co-op Bros.